You got to scooch to the camera, Chris.
Ouch.
Because you can't. Oh, it's so muggy here. It's like 20% humidity here.
20, 50. Oh my God.
It's like 50% humidity right here. Like everybody else, like Doug and people who live in the South, they're like, it's probably 50% is low humidity for them.
Yeah.
Remember when we went to NAMM show in Nashville and we're like, what's 60% here? It can't be that much different. And we we got to Kansas and it was like, ugh, so humid and
just lays
awful.
on you, you know? It's just like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's like right after a rainstorm all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's raining like the crazy rain right now. Hey everybody, this is Matt.
This is Chris. Welcome to our show.
I thought if we
channeling me. Oh
no, I thought if we stayed still for a second, people would go, "Hey, something's wrong with my computer." But yeah. So
luckily, we're hooked up to the. We're corded to it now.
We are tethered to the intranet. Yes. So this is as good as it's going to get. All thanks to the good people at Xfinity. Brought to you by. Well, we're paying for it, but it was Brad Hutchings' idea. He's like, just get internet. Just get internet. Yeah.
But I have a phone.
Mm-hmm. This is the only beer I've had all day today, and I just opened it up. So
good for you.
I feel good. So everyone I'm going to give everyone a little while to kind of get situated and tune in.
Sure.
And do you think everyone's watched my video that I just did on the StewMac? Do you hear that thunderation? StewMac string action gauge versus the craptastic Amazon one. And I'm going to give it away. You can save a lot of money by getting this one from Amazon and link in the video description below too. So that's cool.
Several people said they've already watched it.
Cool. Good. I think that the StewMac versus Amazon tool videos are really going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like so far it's just been like stuff that we haven't like went out and bought a bunch of stuff to make it happen. And we can probably do a few more like that.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think it's cool. Somebody was like, why don't you compare the Crimson tools? They're really good. I'm like, well, because the name of the video isn't StewMac versus Crimson.
Well, I don't know how easy or hard it is to get, but I can't imagine that getting tools from Crimson here is going to be any cheaper than StewMac tools.
I would imagine that getting Crimson Guitars tools here is as easy as it is to get StewMac tools there.
And double stick tape.
Which is like, unicorn skin at Crimson Guitars.
Last year when they sent us the kit, they sent us some tools, and they're nice. The ones that they sent us are nice. So so if you live in some place where you can get those easily, they're good tools.
And even if you don't, I mean, they're still good. So
nothing
wrong with the Crimson stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
I think the whole idea of the videos isn't to necessarily compare good tools with good tools. It's to compare known good tools with cheap tools. Yeah, and is the cheap one as good? Is it worth it to get the other one? Yeah. Sometimes you need the good tool, and sometimes you can get away with the cheap tool.
That's just it.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's right. Lots of things are half the battle. Losing is half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, looks like we've got a super chat from
Dave Hawkinson.
Hey, Dave. Happy Thursday to you too, brother man. Dave is responsible for that guitar that we built, and we've sold a bunch of guitars thanks to that one that Dave got.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, speaking of guitars, I am looking forward to tomorrow's reveal. How about you, Chris?
I am, yes. I'm not flipping anybody off.
You guys may have seen the Instagram or Facebook post from yesterday where Chris was working on the 3 miles of wire in the Marauder 2. No, we're not calling it the Marauder 2, but that's the guitar reveal for tomorrow. It's actually up on the website right now. if you wanted to buy it now, you could buy it now.
You could,
but yeah,
setting a new record.
Yeah, that's right. But we are thinking about doing a 4th of July Independence Day sale, right? That would be cool. So we don't know what that's going to be yet, but
we don't.
Should we have it sorted out by tomorrow, though?
We should. Okay. Yeah. We'll have it sorted out by tomorrow. We only have 2 guitars in stock. Yeah,
but you know what I'm thinking would be kind of cool is we've got 1, 2 that are like really, really close, like they're frets and buffing, and there's still quite a bit of stuff
you can envision what it's going to look like as a finished guitar.
And we could pre-sell those. And like, if you wanted to say, I want to choose the pickups for that. I want that guitar and we'll sell it to you for this price. And then, we'll give you an allowance for pickups or whatever, or we'll sell you the guitar for this price. You got to send us the pickups that you want. If you want different, that might be a cool thing to do too. So, yeah. So, guys, of course, this is our Thursday Q&A segment. Chris and I sit around and drink and answer questions because it's kind of fun to do that. I hope that you guys have fun. I have fun.
I think they do.
Okay.
Otherwise, they wouldn't keep coming back.
Yeah. So, what do we got? Any questions so far, or should I keep vamping?
No,
you know me.
That's good. I'm trying to use it like a touch screen. This computer is not a touch screen.
Mine is a touch screen.
If I push really hard, maybe I can get it to move.
Here's one from Yankee Doodle Doo.
Yep.
Here's a couple of beers. Can't wait for Rockabilly Blow class. Oh, super cool.
Yep.
That is awesome. I am really looking forward to Rockabilly Bow class in November too. That is going to be a crazy fun experience. The thing with classes is there's a bunch of new classes scheduled that Chris and I have been working on. So if you guys are like, because I think we're like, there's 2 spots left this year in the September class. I think I don't even know. And I think the December one, Tony bought that last one. So if you wanna come and get some training with Chris and myself, we're both going to be here, right? Unless you do like some crazy bike thing again.
Yeah, I could hurt myself again.
Please be careful.
That would be fantastic.
Everyone loves you so much.
I try and be careful, and then
like that.
Yeah.
No, it's.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Let me just tell you. But yeah, so we're working on the 2022 schedule now. So if you want to come and get some training, we would be more than happy to host you in 2022. So anyway, are there any questions so far?
Yes.
Let's get right down.
Let's get to it. Here we go. Have you guys looked at the Invitational GGBO guitars? What do you think?
Okay, I personally have not been paying very much attention to the GGBO guitars because I don't want to, because we're acting in a judging capacity. And I don't want to see something and go, ooh, that's cool, and then have that not be something that we can vote on.
Yeah, I've thought about that because I have seen several, especially, friends of the shop and guys that have come out and taken
and we've seen them,
and I've seen those, but I haven't gone out of my way to look at a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that today when I was looking at them. I'm like, I'm going to be bummed if, all our buddies aren't part of the, or most of them. And I know there's going to be a few that I'm going to be bummed about that for whatever reason just get passed over, and and we don't get to judge them.
Yeah.
No. We don't get to, and maybe what we should do is when we do our thing is the ones that, maybe do some honorable mentions or something like that.
Ooh, that's a really good idea.
Although our would just be everybody that we know that didn't get in the top whatever that they're going to let us.
But they asked about the invitational. They're putting us on the spot with the invitational. So what they really want to know is, did anybody in the invitational build anything worth a crap?
What? In the invitational? Oh, is that what they asked? Yeah,
I believe they did.
You guys, that's the invitation.
I got it wrong.
The weirdest word. Yeah. Invitational.
And I thought what they were talking about was
I thought it was the other one, the open build or the kit build.
However, I'm looking forward to seeing what we get to look at and make videos about
Yeah.
For the open build or
Mm-hmm.
and the kit one or the or scratch build.
Scratch, yeah.
But as far as the invitational goes, what people want to know is,
and we've seen them all.
We've seen them all.
Looked at them all.
We looked at them all.
About them all.
You and I have talked about them all. But we haven't really deep dove into whether anybody made anything that we think is worth a squirt. Right? That's what they want to know. This is what it was probably. I bet you I know who asked that question.
Who?
I bet it was Doug Cook.
No,
I bet it was. Who was it?
You won't get it. B. Jarvis.
Oh, I would not have gotten that. Yeah. But I think what B. Jarvis wants to know is, I think they want us to come out and talk a little bit of smack. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think that. How do I want to say this? I feel 100% confident in my reasoning for not doing the invitational Great Guitar Build Off this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because when you're a cheetah, you don't need to race a bunch of hounds. You know what I mean? You can go 65 miles an hour. I don't care what greyhound you are. So remember that I thought it was a real thing for a while, but it was actually like an Audi ad where it was they had this dog race and all the dogs take off. And there's this cheetah sitting in the cage, like resting and, just sort of laying there. And it's like, when you're better than everybody else, you don't need to prove it time and time again.
Yeah. And just lining yourself up to, yeah.
And I'm going to go out and say it. Nobody in the Great Guitar Build Off this year is as good as us. There. I hope that's what you wanted to hear.
I think sale prices will
we'll see.
Make that point.
Prove me wrong by buying the invitational guitars on eBay, and there's just a few more hours left.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I've been watching them every day.
So is Matt just talking smack just to be a smack talker, or is he trying to get you to go out and buy the guitars?
Maybe.
Hard to say.
So I thought some of them were.
There was
I thought there were some that were very inspired. I liked what's his? I can't remember the guy's name, but he's known as the shelf guitar guy.
Okay.
The one piece thing. That was a fun.
Actually, I really liked that one.
Yeah. I mean,
in fact, I think of all of the guitars, that was my favorite.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
And it really was inspired. Now, having said that, to me, like making a guitar out of one piece, it's not really sustainable. And I'm like,
exercise
it's just,
and
can you
do it?
Can you do it?
That's cool. And And he did a great. He's a really good woodworker. He makes really good videos.
There's no doubt about it. No two ways about it.
Yeah, I was a little shocked at the winner.
Why is that? Because he used fabric?
No, because he didn't use enough fabric. Mm-hmm. He didn't explore the room with fabric.
Yeah. There were the invitational had a bunch of really cool stuff, and you really should go and bid on one if you want one. And I think the shelf guitar guy and his one, that was far and away my favorite. Not everybody did what we suspected they would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like I thought DiResta would like just blow everybody away.
This is the second year, at least this time he made. It's a dumb guitar.
It's a kit guitar with a thing carved on it, which is cool.
So he had another excuse this year.
Oh, he did?
Last minute TV show that he didn't realize was gonna come to fruition.
That's a good problem to have. What TV show was it?
I don't know. Probably one of those.
Like make a knife in 3 hours or something.
Make craft projects with Nick Offerman and
sure.
What's her face? Amy Poehler.
Good old what's his face.
Yeah.
I thought that the invitational was just fine. The problem potentially that I have with the invitational is it encourages art school project guitars kind of things. Yeah. And even the one, you remember the one we went to the NAMM show that one year, and there was an art school that made a one piece out of a tree, and they saved the big chunk of tree that they carved the guitar out of. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say, so yeah, I mean, it's cool and it's neat, but is it replicatable? And that is exactly what I was looking for this year was, how makeable are these guitars going to be? Because as a business owner, I have to think about that stuff too. You know, not just, well, I have to make one thing that's totally rad over and over. You know, I need to make the same guitar over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can't just make one and go, okay, done. Now I'm going to move to the next neat thing that everyone will go, ooh, that's cool, and no one will buy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm probably saying this wrong. You know what I mean? What am I trying to say, Chris? I don't know, man.
I don't know, Matt. I know I'm glad we didn't do it.
It's so much time, and I know that everybody put in a ton of work, even if you had a TV show to go to and do. But yeah, I like Laura from Broken Wind. Her guitar had, you know, because I like that lady. You know what I mean? And she's really nice. Yeah. I don't really know very many of the other competitors. Here's what I want to know. I have a question for you guys. What are the other judges saying? Anything?
Yeah. What's Mary Spender have to say about?
Yeah. What's
this?
What's Blondie have to say?
What's the guy from Anderton say?
Yeah. What are those guys making any video? I mean, I don't sit around and watch their videos. I'm like putting open mouth insert foot is like my MO tonight. But like I don't really know who those people are.
Right.
So they're off my radar. So that's why I don't watch their videos. So are they making stuff? Are they making? But I would also be absolutely not surprised if there was nothing on their channel about Great Guitar Build Off. But I don't know. Let me know, guys. What do you have to say? All right, let's moving forward, Chris.
Brad Hutchings says Lee said the 3-neck guitar was awesome. Is there a 3-neck guitar this year?
There's a 2-neck guitar.
There's a 2-neck guitar, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe he was talking about our guitar from last year.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was awesome.
It still is awesome.
It still is awesome.
Yeah. It's just,
but
it's just not here.
Let's talk about this. Do you want to make a bunch of those 3-neck guitars?
No.
So that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like something that you can build up. Most of the guitars in any sort of contest are sort of pull out all the stops, and I'll probably never make another one just like it. And that's why it's not you can't make there's no business model around making triple neck guitars.
I'm going to lead the industry in 3-neck monstrosities.
Yeah. What did Ben call it? An unplayable monstrosity?
I think he just called it a monstrosity, but it might have been unplayable.
Some of his legions called it.
Yeah, many people did. Yeah. Our good friend at Mumbling Productions does a great version of that. 3-neck monstrosity. Burn it, burn it, burn it.
Yeah. I don't think Ben likes us very much.
I don't think. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We have friends like Mumbling Productions.
That's right.
That back our play.
That's right.
So, yeah. All right. So Loring.
Hey, Loring.
Wants to know, he just placed a big order with Stu Mac because they have a weekend sale.
Oh, now's a great time to buy stuff from Stu Mac.
What is the best tool for rounding over frets after using the Z file?
That's what you use.
Well, and then what do you do after that?
You mean, okay, wait.
So after the Z file, you don't use a tool. You do use a tool.
You use sandpaper. And so just like we did in class. But Loring, there is also the regular fret crowning file. That's just a concave file. Get the diamond one if you can, and do the edges with that. Because remember when we were in school, and we did that 30-degree angle on the fret ends, and it puts that burr on the ends of the fret. You want to knock that off, and I like to use the regular fret dressing file for that.
Yeah,
that's where I live.
Cool. Stephen Folino wants to know, installing one of the new Hipshot bridges you just used on a 25.5-inch scale neck. I measure from front of the nut to the front of the 12th. Set the saddles in the middle of their adjustment, mark and mount.
You would need to measure from the edge of the nut to 25.5, not to the 12th fret.
Yeah. So I always think about the 25.5-inch line, your low E is going to be slightly in back of that, and your high E is going to be slightly in front of that.
Good
so you
point,
have to kind of make sure that you have enough travel in all of your saddles to do that. So what you could do is set your, I think one of the strings that hits exactly at 25.5 in that particular case would be the D string. Mm-hmm. And so that's the way I would set that.
Why don't I get a guitar that's got a bridge like that and a tape measure, and we'll just do it.
Okay.
All right. You sit here and drink and look cool.
Can do, Matt.
All right.
Got this part down.
All right. So here's a visual aid.
So I'm the bench.
Go now. So walk them through, and I'm going to get a tape measure.
Okay. So this particular guitar, well, I had to look at it to see what was going on. This particular guitar, we have the bridge just basically set up with the saddles all at about the middle of their travel, give or take a little bit. And most, these Hipshot bridges will move a lot. You probably get almost a 1/2 inch, certainly 3/8 of an inch of adjustment on all the saddles. So it's not like you have to be spot on or you're gonna ruin the guitar. But
all right, so I'm gonna be on the college end of this tape measure.
Okay.
And guys, you don't need to have like a crazy so I don't know if it's upside down. You need to be on the college end.
How'd you manage that?
Because this isn't going to work either. Hold on. Let's do it like this wise.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So I am on the edge of the nut, and this is a 24 3/4 inch scale guitar. So I can't see it. Can you see? Chris is going to come around to the front. Okay.
I'll come around to the front. We are at, just like we said, on the D string, we are at 24 3/4. And really, we have them all lined up about the same on this one.
But we got a little bit of fronty and a little bit of back.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of back. Yeah, so ultimately, the low E string will probably be 24 16th over 3/4. Which is, that number. Yeah. But that's about where it's going to be.
Okay.
So the way we do 13, it is I draw a line and I set up my bridge about centered. Most of them come with the saddles pretty much centered in their travel, and set it there, and then just know that I have room to go back and I have room to go forward.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think it does.
I hope so.
So the thing is that people start to get real hung up on bridge, but as long as you get like a bridge like this, I love it because you get it close, and you got plenty of adjustment. It's not like a Tune-O-Matic where you got
you got maybe 1/4 of an inch,
or you got an edge. You got to mount it on an angle. This bridge is really nice because you just mount it and then you scooch the saddles around, and you scooch the saddles around based on the intonation.
Correct.
So if you are in tune open and you are in tune at the 5th fret, which would be if you're on the E, you'd need to be an A, and then you'd be at the 12th fret, you need to be an E, and you can check all of that stuff. And the better the tuner you have, the better you can get that intonation. But remember, guys, you can spend hours chasing intonation, but I guarantee you that everything you liked in high school played on guitar is a little bit out of tune. Because the guitar isn't exactly perfectly in tune.
No.
That's the kind of instrument that it is.
Any instrument necessarily is.
Yeah.
Pianos, tuners
they have magic.
Do magic to those things so that it sounds like it's in tune.
What about a keyboard, like an electronic?
No, I think music is an imperfect thing. That scale just isn't exactly, you're trying to divide it up into sub sounds of notes.
Joel Danzig has a thing in Premier Guitar right now, and he's talking about how those guitars with the squiggly frets, so it's perfectly in tune everywhere. And he's like, I have a couple of those and they just sound weird to me.
Yeah, we've all become accustomed to these slightly out of tune things, and then people are now going back and using electronics and different devices to try and get their guitar to sound like those imperfect things, and you can't do it, and then they're really getting upset.
Yeah,
because it's like a picture on the wall can look straight and not be straight.
Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah.
And depending on the wall and the room and all this other stuff, and if you put a level on that picture and you straighten it and you look at it and now it's wrong,
but your wall goes
wrong, and it looks wrong, but it's straight, then you're like, what the fuck,
Yep.
So it's this give and take, and
if you've ever put chair rail in an old house, you know what I'm talking about.
They call it tempered tuning with pianos.
Okay,
is what they do, I think. And and it's designed to make it sound mostly in tune from one end to the other. But there's notes that aren't necessarily in tune with a tuner, but they sound in tune with the rest of the piano.
And this is not what Steve was asking, but intonation is one of those deals where people can chase that dragon of perfection. And is it really worth it? Or was Frank Zappa right when he said, just play your guitar? He said, shut up and play your guitar. But
yeah.
You buy the ticket, you take the ride. That's what happened.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Doug Stantaniello wants to know, what rattle can paint can I use? I just painted a cheapy guitar with Rust-Oleum Toolbox Red, but trying to sand it a day later, it's too soft.
It's always going to be gummy.
It's always going to be gummy.
Yeah. Because it's an enamel, or who knows what it is.
It's designed to be flexible a little bit, so that it lays down nice in it, but it never gets really, really hard.
Yeah. So, Doug, as you know, we do not recommend spray cans. However, if you are going to use that, if that's where you're set, how you're set up to proceed, what's the stuff? The Spray Max 2K.
Yeah, 2K, and you can buy colors in that.
Okay.
Some auto parts stores.
Ooh, the colors are catalyzing too?
No, they're just base coats.
Okay, all right.
But it's just like we use, only in a rattle can. And some paint stores actually sell it. And you might even be able to go and use a store locator, or you can also order it online. That's what Andy the Saint does with it. Is he orders the color online, so you get a can of base and a can or two of the top clear and go to town, and it actually works pretty well. You've used some of that stuff on some wheels. I used it on my car wheels. Yeah, and they're holding up great, and it went on really nice.
Yeah.
And it's
lots of cool colors too, right?
Stuff. There's any color you want.
Okay, all right.
Any color.
Do they put it in the can right there?
Yeah, the new paint store near us actually will do that too. Not that we need it, but
all right.
It's pretty neat. So
that would be cool.
Cool.
Speaking of paint, guys, if you're looking for paints, please check out Todd at SweetT Guitars. Link in the description below. Send him an email. He's making all sorts of really cool colors right now. We use a bunch of them. We just got a big box of awesome colors from Todd. So check out Todd at SweetT Guitars. When you've got a paint that you want to have mixed or matched, you want to mix and match the fit that makes the fashion. That's not Todd. That's Underalls. But so Todd at SweetT Guitars will hook you up. I'd also like to thank Dan and Calvin from Guitar Wood Experts. Those guys are super cool. We just spent about 3 hours at a local lumberyard today. Not because just because we needed some stuff right away today. I tell you what, though, if I could just order everything from Dan, I mean, I'm sure I could, but if I could just order every single thing that I ever needed from Dan, how much better would everything be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, we get for classes. By the way, guys, the 2022 class schedule is coming out soon. But if you come to here and build, build a tele class with us, all the wood is swamp ash, and it all comes from Dan and Calvin at Guitar Wood Experts. And it's perfect every time. it's ready to go. It's glued up and it's great every single time. So link in the description below, guys, if you need some lumber that's hard to find where you are. Oh, that's the other thing. We can't get swamp ash at Austin Hardwoods here. I'd also like to thank John and Cheryl from Bitterroot Guitars. Bitterroot Guitars makes all kinds of awesome stuff where they have a bunch of cool stuff made for them. And one of the coolest things that they're going to have made for them coming up, do you know what that is? Videos by Chris and myself. We're going to help them with some video stuff. I think we're going to install some truss rods and do some neat stuff. And I talked to John. He's like, well, how much are you going to charge me? I'm like, you know what? Let's just do one, John. And let's just trade out for some stuff. Because you guys have neat stuff that we're going to want. Let's just swap out. Because it's like, I'm not going to get rich making videos for John. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I would love to help them out because they've been very helpful to us. John and Cheryl are super cool. And stuff like truss rods, guitar parts, things like that. Check out Bitterroot Guitars and coupon code in the description below. Anybody else that we forgot? Of course there is. Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. What's your favorite part about every trip to Flipside Music, Chris?
They're really fun hand sanitizer.
That is fun. What about pre-COVID? What was your favorite part about going to Flipside?
What's my favorite part about Flipside? I think I like looking at used guitars.
I do too.
Used gear.
Yeah, I make a beeline.
I like looking at junk.
Flipside has everything from
PV Bandit 65s.
Flipside has everything from the PV Bandit 65 to like $2,500, $3,000 match stuff. Yeah. And I love to go in and see like the used stuff is always cool. They've always got used guitars, new stuff. Flipside Music has everything. And I've said this before, you guys, as soon as they get their new shop happening, it is going to be a destination. Mm-hmm. When you come to Colorado, you are going to want to go to Flipside. That's just all there is to it. So
Yep. And I'm hoping that they do even more used stuff.
How could they not? They've got like 4,000 square feet of just showroom. Just that. Yeah. I'm out of beer.
Are you? That's the saddest part of the day. Here, you look and see if there's any.
All right. I'm going to go through and look at some questions here. Let's see. I'm just going to go up to, here's Gary Redburn.
Yep.
I saw that and thought about trying it. Gary, was he talking about the paint stuff?
There's lots of talk.
God, there's so much paint.
What kind of guns to use and what kind of paint and
here's one from our friend Mac, who calls himself Mike McMurray. His real name is Michael, but everyone calls him Mac. He says he hopes to have a beer. You know what would be awesome is to have an Independence Day beer with Mac. I wonder if we can make that happen.
I don't know. Yeah,
even if it's not in the shop.
Yeah, Mike Ivey says he loved his PV Bandit 65. I wanted to buy them both and like stack them and run them both.
A stack of PV into the night.
Bandit 65s. One of them was nice and one of them was not as nice.
So Steven says, thank you very much. I'm greatly looking forward to the July class.
Cool.
Did you get the email that I sent you?
Yes.
And
it looked good to me.
Are you sure?
Except for the one part. But I know nobody's going to do that. So
I'm going to take that out. I put that in there to see
if I read it.
Yeah.
That's the red M&M.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you guys are signed up, if anyone signed up for the July class, what Chris and I went to do today was we bought a bunch of part supplies, woods and things like that. So if you guys didn't have anything when you showed up, we could help you, have that, and you wouldn't have to spend a bunch of time, because it was like 2 hours at Austin plus a half hour there and 45 minutes back. Right?
Yeah.
Right about that.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time to get there, and then once you do, you got to know what to do when you're there, and like the yard sleuths are not exactly the easiest guys to work with.
Yeah, it was difficult today.
They
were all busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, and they're friendly when they have to be, but when they don't, then. That
was the first time I ever went in and I think looked at more than 2 types of wood that they had to get out.
Because it takes a long time.
And it takes, and the aisles are skinny and can I look at this now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Excelente.
Mm-hmm. Kenneth Crickmore asks,
Hey, Kenneth.
I just go to my local music go round almost right around the corner, and they have the coolest gear in my area, and they carry some new gear too. I bet you Kenneth lives near me.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe not, but yeah, there's music go rounds all over the place. But
Okay.
yeah, especially pre-COVID, I used to go there quite a bit, you know. Oh, I haven't been, I'd like go on a day off every week. I'd go, and I bought a lot of stuff there, and I knew where they got the newest stuff in, and I'd sort of snake around and be like, hey,
were you like in the cool group who they like, hey Chris, you got new this in?
For a while I was, because I had a buddy that worked there, a guy that I knew.
Okay.
And I'd come in and he kind of knew me, and he was like, hey.
And
it was like, you know, I didn't realize I needed a set of 1968 Japanese pearl drums, but I guess I do.
Here we are.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd sneak around and be like, hey, what's the deal with that old Mustang over there? Oh, we just got that in. Oh, yeah. They'd never cut me any deals, though.
Mark says he loves my Springfield Armory shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mark. I had to shoot a 1911 to get this one year at I forget where I was, a SHOT Show or something.
There you go. SS gave us $5 for being the most handsome guitar builders ever.
SS is, if anyone's as smart as SS, they'll know that we are. You know why I called this video the handsomest? Because everybody copies us for stuff.
Okay.
And guys, mark my words, Dylan is probably going to call his podcast tonight or his live stream tonight, you know, the shockingly gorgeous or the dynamic duo or the whatever. Yeah. Watch for it. It's going to happen.
Yep.
He's changing it right now, so it isn't that.
Yeah. Rick B fined himself because he was late. $5.
Rick, God bless you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. You know what? You don't have to be. You don't have to come in late. You can come in anytime, brother, man. All right. Are there any guitar? Well, let's get some guitar questions here.
Well, here's an amp question. Y'all got opinions on amp build kits? Did someone say Dumble clone?
Ooh. So I have no opinion on that.
Yeah.
But you have a couple, right?
I have a kit that I have failed to build in over a year.
So you've not failed to build it. You've just failed to start.
No, I've started.
You've failed to finish.
Correct.
Not because it's gotten all dorked up, but because you're just like,
because I'm like, I don't know what it is about it. I thought, man, this is going to be really fun. I used to love working on amps, and I do my own, you know, recaps and troubleshoot and all this other stuff. So I know probably just enough to get in trouble. And I found this, it was a couple Christmases ago, ago, and I found Weber was having a big sale on kits, and so I bought one. I thought, man, this will be really fun, and I got it, and I was just like, oh, I don't know that I want to do this. So is it just sort of returning to the earth slowly? Well, so I got it out this last winter and started working on it, and then I needed some other tools, and I cobbed up something, so I bought, you know, replacement parts, and so it's just sitting there again. I'm like, and now it's summer, I'm not going to sit around and solder all night. Well, and there was COVID. I think COVID was, I'm going to do all this great stuff. Right. COVID. Yeah. Well, so do you know what I did in COVID? You worked here every day. Yeah. And worked all the time and missed last year. We had no downtime at all. No, we didn't. So, and then I thought, yeah. And so, you know, and really, I'll get it done. I think it's a fun thing. I'm nervous that I won't get it right, and I'll have to take it to somebody, and they'll have to, you know, comb through it and go, well, here's where you messed up, dork, dumbass. And so, but and then you read the forums, and it's like, oh, well, those kits suck. These are the good ones, and you know, and it's more of that, all of that stuff. So I was like, I'm buying the basic kit. I'm not upgrading. I'm not doing anything. You know, it's got parts. It's going to be good. Here's a question for you. The last time I was on a forum, which was actually fairly recently, and it was for a kit thing, not an amp, but it was a forum, and these people were basically talking about how to use tools incorrectly. And one guy it was like my blog about forums, and how there's like one guy who's
everybody loves, or there's one or two guys that everybody loves them, and the rest of them just sit around and parrot these guys. And I'm like, they were talking about using a drill press and how you like jam the drill press down like as fast as you can. And I'm like, that's not how a drill works.
No.
And I don't care if it's in a Dremel thing or whatever, but yeah.
And at no point is it turning fast enough to do that.
No.
Kind of an action.
No.
It's not a pin router.
And they were getting the results that they wanted in spite of themselves. And I fear that if it would work in that application, to see these guys later on in life, like, okay, if any of the guys who were like disciples of this forum were to show up here at guitar building class, and I'd be like, so you need to do that on the drill press. You know how to do it? Oh yeah, I know for a fact. It would just be like, bam, bam, just like breaking tools because they don't know how to use stuff. And just because it worked in one application doesn't mean that it's going to work in all of them. And I fear that the amp forums have to be something like that, where or you don't know if the person you're with is a 13-year-old kid or a guy who's been building amps since before the Dead Sea was only sick. So anyway.
Yep. Somebody wanted to know what kit it was. It's the Weber Princeton Reverb kit is the one that I got. Somebody
said something about a Dumble. I love the idea of Dumble. How did that? Do you know much about the mythology of that?
I've read about it and then I promptly forgot about it.
It's got to be like, God, that was like in the early '80s that those amps were made, right? So I mean, it was probably some sort of a modification of a Fender. I don't know. Do you know?
No, I don't recall, to be honest with you. So
okay, I have a question for you, Chris. What was the most obscure amp that you ever had to carry and play through?
The most obscure amp that I ever had to carry and play through?
Yeah.
I don't,
because a lot of people were like, I saw an amp once at the NAMM show and it was so cool. But no.
Yeah.
You have to have like personal experience with it. That's why I said you have to carry it.
Okay.
Mine was a 410 Jim Kelly Tweed. Okay. And it weighed 100 million pounds. And it was
a combo.
It was a combo.
Yep. So it was like a super.
It was, in fact, guys, if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, I just dated myself by saying that Jim Kelly amp. And a friend of mine, Mike Reed, had it. And God, it was cool. It was really awesome. So do you have any stories like that?
Obscure amps? No. I've owned a lot of big amps. But I'm pretty traditional when it comes to all of that stuff. Okay. I have a really cool little Japanese Tisco tube amp.
Is that the one you got from Ike at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store?
At the Christmas party, plugging it in directly to the wall with
that. You two knuckleheads.
Yeah, and so I fixed it. And
they had like a power converter of some kind.
It had a power converter, it's a real Japanese. It wasn't made for America. So that's pretty obscure. But I don't have any weird obscure amp stories.
Okay, I just wondered.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Spike the Frugal Fixer says, I got my GGBO kit entry all turned in. Hope you guys get to judge it and see Matt admiring my CNC. I am acquiescing to a lot of things that I thought I would never, ever, ever think were cool. CNC is one of them. I have to tell you, Chris, I am acquiescing to the whole notion of my dream guitar. Yeah. I am changing my whole, based on an auction that I participated in recently, not for guitars, but I'm like thinking, sometimes a dream guitar can be something fairly pedestrian that you used to have. And that's still not going to be a $400 Japanese or Chinese, thing knockoff of a Les Paul. You know who else has it right is Dan Thompson. From I just biffed my shin. Dan Thompson from Guns and Guitars. he has a lot of videos about dream stuff, but you have to have some skin in the game.
Yeah,
with Dan's videos.
Yeah,
you got to make part of it, and that's a cool thing. And that's what you were talking about too.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. And the other thing is you're allowed to have more than one dream. And as soon as that one dream is done, you can go and dream some more.
Yeah.
About the next dream guitar. And maybe, right now my dream guitar is this or that or whatever. And it's and
sometimes you have one singular path, and then you're like, and you have an alternate timeline, an alternate reality of dreams, and then you go, hey, you know what? I kind of liked what was going on here, and now I'm not even on the camera. Yeah, now I'm way over here.
Dreams are crazy, man.
Yeah, so you want to kind of come back a little bit to the reality of your original concept. So a dream guitar can in fact be something that in say 1984 was a kind of pedestrian thing that we're all over, but now they're not available anymore. So you get something and you try to make a move.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. What else we got, Chris? Oh, so I was talking about CNC and the Frugal Fixer. And we have a CNC machine now. I would have thought never would we ever have a time where we would have a CNC machine.
Yeah. We do some cool stuff with it. We don't rely on it.
We rely on it for inlay.
For some new things that we're doing.
Have you thought about any like things that we can do with the CNC besides inlay? Because I'm like, it does what it needs to do.
I've thought about making some tools. Like getting a sheet of acrylic and making these.
Squares. Okay.
And using it for maybe making some radius gauges. I think I could just whip some of that.
Oh, that would be really cool
with acrylic, and that might be kind of fun. But other than what we're doing with it, no. I mean, we're already doing headstock logos for class guitars with it. That was something that we never thought about.
That is a game changer to me. The class guitars, up until a couple of classes ago, all had blank headstocks.
Yep.
And there's something about having something on the headstock.
Yeah, it makes everything look finished. But we never could figure out how to do it with an oil finish.
We only have 5 days. We have all 5 days, but we only have 5 days.
Yep.
Yeah, and you and I have actually kind of experimented a little bit with some of those on like our angled headstocks, and it's okay. You're not of the opinion, and I agree with you, that black paint and the logo that we've created and spent a lot of time kind of finalizing.
Well, we can even do this exact same. That guitar's got the exact same logo on it. Just CNC'd instead of painted and deckled.
But I think that the headstocks that are black look cooler.
Yeah. But in a pinch, it looks pretty cool. On Fender guitars, so like with the scoop thing, I think CNCing the logo in and backfilling with paint is rad. I think it's way cool. I'm looking at 2 right now that look really awesome. Yeah, I think they look good.
Yeah.
So and we've done some other stuff with it. I like to stir my coffee with it.
Remember we made that Blizzard that one time, the Oreo and Snickers Blizzard. Yep.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I like to turn the speed control down to about 12,000 RPM for the Blizzard.
That's the best.
Yeah. If it up at 16,000, it's
way too fast.
Whips it a little around.
But I like to kind of like because we have a VFD on our CNC machine.
Yeah.
We have so for those of you who don't know, we have a UPS that controls our VFD for our CNC.
Correct.
That would be an uninterruptible power supply controlling our variable frequency drive for our computer numerically controlled machine. Anyway.
Yeah. One time I got VD and DC.
I know.
That was fun.
I cannot acknowledge that. What else we got, Chris? Anybody else have any questions, or do we just blow past everyone?
No, I think I'm trying to catch everybody's questions.
I would like to, in the last few minutes here, guys, I would like to encourage you to go to the eBay site, for the Great Guitar Build Off and check out all the builds. There's a lot of really good stuff. I was talking smack earlier. I was just seeing if you guys were paying attention.
It's okay to I appreciate everything, but not everything's something I would build. But I can appreciate the time and effort that people
absolutely
put into it, and I can appreciate the workmanship, and a lot of it's really, really great. Invitational, and especially the
what do they call the
they should just call it the free for all.
I think that should just be what the Great Guitar Build Off is.
Yeah, the invitational part
that's
for me kind of fell on its face, because you have hundreds of other people, and then you have the 7 or 8 or 10 or whatever it was that are all competing, that are and there's some neat stuff. So
I wonder what will happen with Great Guitar Build Off in the future, and I don't know the answer, but I would like to it's neat that we did it one time, and I don't need to do it again. That doesn't mean that it's not, that it wasn't cool, but it's just, I'm kind of, how about this? We got everything we needed to get out of it the first time.
Yeah.
And so we did not need to go and do it again.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of people making cool stuff, So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we have 2 questions.
All right, let's answer 2 more questions.
George asks,
Hi, George.
I have a 6-inch bandsaw, and I'm thinking of getting a 14 or 16-inch drum sander. Which would you advise?
So you have a 6-inch bandsaw?
That's what the question is.
Throat on the bandsaw is this long? Maybe it's like one of those like benchtop band. Probably that.
Okay.
Okay. And what does he advise, or what is he asking?
And I'm thinking of getting a 14-inch or a 16-inch drum sander. Which would you advise?
I don't know what a 14 or 16-inch drum sander is. No, I do.
Width?
Okay, George. So he's talking about what I would call thickness sander, which George is calling it the right thing, a drum sander. You will never be disappointed with the bigger tool. However, having said that, if you are building electric guitars and one of them is open at the end and one of them is closed at the end, if it was me and there was a 16-inch open end drum sander or a 14-inch closed end drum sander, I would get the 14-inch closed end drum sander every time. What say ye, Chris?
Yeah.
That's going to limit a lot of what you can do, but there's something about, I had one of those open end drum sanders, and while it worked, maybe ours was just kind of a wonky thing. It worked, and it worked well, but it wasn't as good as our 25-inch Supermax, where it's closed on both ends, so it can't flex.
Yeah.
So
to do creative leaning on that.
There was all sorts of stuff we had to do to get that tool to work right. So if they're both open end, and again, if they're both open end, I'd go with the bigger one. I don't know why. Okay. Given that, let's assume George has access to buy a 14-inch open end or a 16-inch open end. Which would you go with then? Let me go first, because I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you on the spot. If you had a choice between a 14 and 16-inch open end, I would go with the 16-inch, because when you sell it, it's going to be more sellable than the 14.
Yeah.
And you will want to sell it one day.
Yep.
So I hope that what do you think? What would you have said?
Yeah, that sounds right. One of the reasons that we made, well, it's not one of the reasons that we made it, but the hater maker.
Yep.
That body, we have a 24-inch.
25-inch.
25-inch. Yeah, and it was like, oh, well, we can totally do this, because we have this giant tool.
It to the drum sander.
Yeah, and we've sanded. I think we've sanded some cases that we made.
Absolutely.
We made a case, and it was, 22 inches wide or something like that, 20 inches wide, and we've sanded that. And yeah, every once in a while, having the bigger than you need. Although, normally we send 3-inch wide fretboards through it and lots of smaller stuff too. So yeah.
There's gonna be when we first got the 15-inch planer, I'm like, this will never be too little. Day one, I was sending an Explorer or something, or it was an RD, and I'm like, son of a gun, it's like 1 inch too small. But the reason that we went with the 15-inch over the 20-inch was the 15-inch planer with the helical cutter was the same price as the 20-inch with the straight blade cutter.
Yeah.
And that's a no-brainer. Guys, the helical cutter is worth it every single time.
Yep. Beardo.
Is this question number 2?
No, this is
right,
just a funny observation. You're talking about going for it with the drill press.
Yeah.
And just pow, bang. Beardo says Marine Gun Builder P80.
That could very well be the guy I'm talking about. It is Beardo. Yeah, that's the guy. Yep.
So Beardo watched it and went, "What the hell?"
I again, it worked. It gave him the results that he wanted, but I'm like, that's not how you use that tool.
Yeah. Never ever is it how you use that tool.
That's
why it's got that nice slow. How do you? So you get it all the way down, you get yourself lined up, and then you go.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love the Marines, guys. If you're a Marine, I love you. Doesn't mean that but anyone who calls themselves Marine gun builder, that does not necessarily mean that you're an expert in the art of finesse. There's a reason that they say if you give a Marine 2 steel balls, he'll lose one and break the other. All right. So yeah.
All right.
I love you guys with every ounce of my being, but yeah, you're not exactly easy on equipment.
All right. Final question. Tom L asks,
hey, Tom,
updates on the new double cut or carve top challengers.
There will be some updates on both. I have my friend Tony is very patient. He's ordered among other things, he has ordered a carve top challenger. I have glued up and rough cut and done a bunch of work to his and two other carved top challengers. And I need to get them carved. And maybe you're going to be using, maybe what I'll do is I'll clear off that table and I'll have me and Brandon this week, we'll reel in the copy carver and we'll hook up a vacuum and we'll do copy carving this weekend.
Okay.
While you're doing stuff in the wood shop.
Okay. Oh yeah.
What do you think? Because I know you got a busy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like one day, or are you gonna try to do it all in one day?
I'm gonna try to do it all in one day.
Which day? Saturday or Sunday?
That is a good question.
There's no way in hell you can get it all done on Sunday. You can't come in.
They're not that hard.
Yeah, well, but I mean, to get it
if I have my
all the contours and sanding and everything.
I'll bet you I can.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Before 5.
Yeah.
I'll bet you lunch at Popeyes.
Lunch at Popeyes
on Sunday. that by 4:50, if you just come in on Sunday, there's no way.
What time am I coming in to do this?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what time you're planning on coming in, but I know how Sundays are.
Oh, I know too.
That the best laid plans of Mice and Men on Sunday. That guitar is about to fall off the wall.
Which one?
The best laid plans of Mice and Men. Sunday, I'm going to come in at 9 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. And what actually ends up happening is 12, 12:30. And then Matt comes over and we start drinking. And Mac.
Oh, Mac.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but if you come in thinking I'm going to bang it all out on one Sunday, and you're willing to do a little gambling, I'm getting free lunch.
Free lunch?
Yeah. If I'm here to gamble.
We're all losers if Hobbies is the destination.
All right. Well, that's our standard bet. And it's not that I don't want you to get it done in one day.
Yeah.
I just want to win free lunch.
Okay. Yeah.
So with that, guys, thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday. This has been a lot of fun. And we've got more videos coming your way very soon, including how to use this tool. Because I realized when I made this video that it was just sort of like, is this one as good, or is this one so much better than every other tool? Mm-hmm. Now we need to do a video on how to use
You even talked about it.
And then
you didn't do it.
Well, but that's I cut that part out.
I know.
So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you on Sunday, if not before, probably before. So until then, this is Matt.
This is Chris.
From Texas Toast, bidding you peace and joy and etc. No. Telling you that, reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what we did. Ooh, super cool reveal coming up tomorrow too, Chris.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend and awesome 4th of July.